If you know that you're a chosen one, then you must be very familiar with people that never really wanted you to speak. By the end of this video, you will understand the real frequency behind your voice. It doesn't matter which conversations you was trying to make. You was trying to speak with the family. Sometimes you try to speak with the friends. Sometimes you had an opinion in class. Sometimes you had something to say in your workplace. The pattern has always been the same. Either you was ignored, your opinion was completely ignored, you was told to shut up, you were silenced. Everybody else could speak. Whatever it is you had to say wasn't important. They didn't want to hear it. It's not because it wasn't the truth. It was the truth. But your voice comes with the frequency. It's a very powerful frequency. That frequency is very powerful. A chosen one embodies frequencies. You are in alignment with truth. You are in alignment with real love, authenticity, justice, empathy. Those are very high vibrational energies. That is what makes you a very high vibrational individual. This thing moves a little bit. Let's fix it. So when you're the black sheep of the family, in a family, you had parents that would always ignore you. There's family meetings. They ask anybody everything. When it was your turn to speak, the meeting was over. Now that you're awakened, you understand energy, frequency, and vibration. You know individuals that are extremely low vibrational. You know individuals that are soulless. You know NPCs. You know also people that have got real souls. When you come into contact with the real soul, when you sit with them to speak, they're going to be very welcoming. They'll sit with you, you share with them, you guys resonate, you are flowing. That is how you know that you're talking to a real soul. But at the same time, you understand that there is people with attachment, okay, parasitic attachments, demonic attachments, attachments from things or stuff or whatever spirits from whichever dimension, anyway. And most of your conversations you've always had, in every scenario that you've been, you have noticed certain reactions from these people. Either as you started to speak, they stood up and walked away, or sometimes during the conversation, they kept on interrupting you. You say something, they come in. You say something, they come in. They interrupt. Oh, you know, something happened, or sometimes they are diverting you away from whatever it is you guys are talking or discussing. That is no coincidence. Because you're on this frequency and you embody this frequency, like I've told you, is very powerful frequency. When a person gets into contact with that frequency, it will trigger something in them. It will disturb their essence. It will disturb their spirits. It will be like you're talking about something that is very uncomfortable for them. Now, many chosen ones experience rejection, isolation, and even spiritual and physical attacks. All those things are confirmation of the frequency that you hold within you. In my recent video, I've told you that when you see people, you don't only see people, you see through people. The same thing applies to when you do speak to people or with people. You may not be surprised as to why you was kept out of certain rooms and why you wasn't invited in certain conversations. That is because subconsciously, even some of the people didn't pretty much know, but subconsciously, these people felt the moment you will open your mouth to speak, they have got nothing else to say. Now, when you speak, chosen ones, with that kind of frequency and that kind of energy, you are not simply speaking to people. I've told you. There is sometimes people, you see them in many videos, I've told you, there's some people don't have souls. You can have a person in front of you, but you're just speaking to a shell. It's a shell of a person. Inside of that shell is a different spirit from whichever dimension it came from. And usually what happens, when you now open your mouth to speak, you are talking to that spirit inside of the person. Let us repeat this one more time. When you open your mouth to speak, you're not speaking to the shell. You're speaking to the spirit, whichever spirit inside of that shell. Sometimes the spirit may make that person to stand up and walk away. Sometimes, I've told you, they're going to interrupt you. Sometimes they may close their ears because you are speaking about something that is very, very high vibrational. It's a very high vibrational frequency, and it cracks through the spirits. A lot of times, I've told you, you have a lot of truth. So the reason why you see these people moving, running up and down, trying to attack you, trying to do this, trying to do that, humiliation rituals and all that stuff, stalking and everything, that is because of your frequency. It is your frequency they are fighting with. You see, a chosen one doesn't come with a label. You don't come with a label on your head. You don't come wearing certain clothes. You don't show up wearing specific perfumes, no. You just show up and the frequency will speak for itself. Do not be surprised as to why you do awaken. You go through a spiritual awakening and you feel this energy of people that you used to know they are trying to avoid you. They are avoiding you because now you have remembered. Yes, you used to play small many times. You was like, okay, I cannot speak much because when I say so too much, my dad will feel uncomfortable. My brother may feel uncomfortable. Maybe I cannot say this because my boss will say this. That kind of stuff. You was always kept in a box because it always felt like you had something very powerful and very big to say. But you could sometimes dim it a little bit. You could water it down a little bit so that, just to keep the peace around an area or whatever, you keep the vibe. But when you step into your awakening, you simply remember who you are and you remember what you're here for, what you represent, and what you really have to do, what you are meant to do. Now people, they start separating themselves from you because people actually feel you're awakening. Sometimes even before you realize you've awakened. You may start to see people start avoiding you, not calling you, separating themselves from you. They're avoiding you because they know that when they get into contact with you, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to say something. And whatever it is you're going to say, it is very powerful. They cannot stand it. So they're going to avoid you. Now you see, those spirits that operate within some people, certain vessels, they understand who you are. When you have been in contact with these individuals, a lot of the times, the reason why you hear people say gaslighting, they try to twist the narrative, okay, smear campaign and everything. They are trying to water it down a little bit. Whenever you say something, they are going to try to twist it around and they will say that you said something different. Or you told me it was left, you said it was right, they will say you told me it was left. Now, they are going to always twist those conversations because they are trying to fool you. Because you see, these spirits that are operating within these people, even some of the people don't know that they have got certain possession or attachments with these spirits. Some of them don't know. There is some people that do not know. But on this physical, on this 3D, you will see how they react whenever they are around you. It's a very uncomfortable interaction with you. They have to be around you, but when you start speaking, they are going to water it down a little bit. They are going to gaslight you. They will silence you. Sometimes they will try to eliminate you, humiliate you. They will smear your name. They will do that just because of that frequency. The spirits that are inside of those people, they understand who you are. They can see the nature of your soul. The world is spiritual. I've told you guys, the world is spiritual. So when you do snap one day and you awaken, those people are going to start avoiding you. Even some of them don't fully understand why they're avoiding you. That is because now you have remembered the truth. What is really going on, what it is you have to do, what it is you need to say, when you have to say it. Your soul takes over this journey. Your soul does the rest of the work for you. Before it was all about the ego. Is why the enemy always tried to put you very, in that frequency whereby you was always like, it was all about the ego. When you awaken, the ego starts shutting down a little bit. Gradually, your soul now can show up in its most authentic form. And that is what those spirits are avoiding. That is because when you are speaking, chosen ones, it is your soul communicating with that entity that is behind the person. That is what makes it very uncomfortable, extremely irritating. The moment you open your mouth to speak, they will be on their way. So you do not only talk to the people. You are speaking because on this 3D you have this body, the vessel, you have the mouth and everything, so you speak. You may look like you're speaking to a person, but it is actually your soul communicating with that spirit. And that is where you have found a lot of challenges because those spirits do not want to hear whatever it is you have to say. It has always been you, chosen ones. It has always been you. It has always been you. You can hear this from me. It was always you. Even a lot of people that you always had high regard for, the people that you looked up to, your caretakers, your bosses, your landlords, your ministers, your, what do they call those people? Parents, the people that you always looked up to, they have always been afraid of your power. Even the people that always had everything in life, they are the best cars, they are the best wives in town, they are the best homes. They have always been afraid of your power. That is because it has always been your power that stood out whenever you would show up. Your frequency would speak for itself. Not only would you look through people, is why you say a lot of times, chosen ones, you struggle to navigate through life pretty much like everybody else because you operate on a different frequency. And so the same goes with the voice. Why do you really think the enemy is very, very desperate to take you out? Why do you really think so? Because when you speak your truth with that particular frequency, the demons get exposed. And that is the last thing they want. They get exposed. And they're not meant to be exposed. They will operate silently within this vessel. Nobody will ever know what is happening. They will see the manipulations and all these games and everything, but nobody will actually know the drive behind those individuals. But whenever you show up, the energy will shift because you are going to be looking through, not only looking through, you are going to be speaking directly to that spirit. That's what has always been happening, chosen ones. I'm very sure that this video resonates. Let us know in the comment section below. You guys know I do love and appreciate your support. Please book a session if you want to. You may donate or support my channel if you want to. Everything you need, you will find it in the description below. And until then, I will see you guys in my next one. Denzamos signing out. Much love and blessings. Peace.